From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
I'm Movin Hettiarachi, and here are today's headlines.
The Attorney General directs the acting IGP to obtain warrants to arrest 12 persons, including former Minister Ravi Karunanika, over the bond scam issue. The first Sri Lankan infected with the coronavirus reported from Italy. The President instructs authorities to expedite the process to provide necessary fertilizer to farmers for Yala season. General election is on April 25th. The accepting of nominations will be carried out from March 12th to 19th.
For those and other stories in detail. The Attorney General has directed the acting IGP to obtain warrants to arrest 12 persons, including former Minister Ravi Karunanika, owner of Perpetual Treasuries, Arjuna Aloysius, and former Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Arjuna Mahendran. The instructions have been directed over the Central Bank bond case. This directive has been issued in accordance to the Treasury bond auction held in March 2016. Accordingly, the suspects have been alleged under the charges of conspiracy, criminal disappropriation, fraud and market manipulation. Accordingly, the Attorney General has directed the arrest of 12 persons, including former Minister Ravi Karunanika, owner of Perpetual Treasuries, Arjuna Aloysius, former Governor of Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Arjuna Mahendran, and the former Director of Public Department of Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
The Ministry of Foreign Relations says that a Sri Lankan woman living in Italy has contracted the new coronavirus. The ministry has informed that the victim is not in critical condition. She is a 46-year-old woman and is currently receiving treatment at a hospital in Brescia, Italy. She said that the lady of the house in which she was working had been infected with the virus, and they informed her regarding this matter after some time. She said that when she got tested yesterday, she was informed that she tested positive for the virus. An inquiry was made from the Sri Lankan embassy in Italy regarding the present condition of the infected Sri Lankan women. Sri Lankan ambassador to Italy, Sisira Senaviratne, said that the Sri Lankan woman is in good condition, and he said that the hospital has informed that she has no other complications relevant to the disease yet. Acting Sri Lankan Consular General Subhashini Ponnapperuma stated that the embassy is on constant attention on the Sri Lankans living in Italy. Acting Sri Lankan Consular General Subhashini Ponnapperuma said that the embassy is currently on alert over the situation in the country. Meanwhile, the National Action Committee appointed over the coronavirus was convened under the patronage of Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachchi at the Health Ministry premises this morning. Subsequently, a media briefing was held to inform the decision taken by committee. The minister said that the people arriving from corona-infected countries will be quarantined for 15 days. These steps have been taken to control the spread of the virus by averting potential national emergency situation in the country. The Sri Lankan Army, together with the Ministry of Health Ministry, has taken the necessary measures on this regard. Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachchi said that due to the rapid spread of the disease in South Korea, Italy and Iran, people arriving from these countries will be subjected to a 15-day quarantine period. Upon their arrival, she said the National Action Committee will be convened daily to eradicate the spread of the disease.
ලෝකයේ මේ අලුතෙන් පැතිරෙමින් තියෙන තත්ත්වය මර්ධනය කිරීම සඳහා නිතිපතා සෞඛ්‍ය අධ්‍යක්ෂක ජෙනරාල්තුමාගේ ප්‍රධානත්වයෙන් තවදුරටත් ක්‍රියාකාරී කමිටුවක් දිනපතා රැස් කරවීමටත් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු කිරීමටත් තීන්දුව කරා.
A decision has been reached to suspend the arrival of persons into the country through cruise ships. Specialist Dr. Anil Jayasinghe said that the arrival of people from cruise ship into the country has been suspended effective from today. He said the required services in the ships have not been suspended. Steps have been taken to strengthen the surveillance process on the people arriving in Katunayake International Airport and the 14 post-day examination process. So far, 1,954 people have been examined under the surveillance process. COVID-19 viral infection is spreading in South Korea, which houses more than 20,000 Sri Lankans. So far, more than 4,800 confirmed cases have been in South Korea, while the death toll has increased to 29. Reports have indicated that South Korea may face an economic downfall due to the rapid spread of the virus in the country. Reports have also indicated that Sri Lankans in South Korea are in good health condition thus far. 93,275 confirmed cases have been reported across the world, while the death toll has increased to 3,130. 48,450 people have been recovered from the viral infection.
Pope Francis, who is suffering from a cold, has tested negative for the coronavirus, an Italian newspaper reported on Tuesday, as Italy battles Europe's worst outbreak. Pope Francis cancelled a Lent retreat for the first time in his papacy this weekend after axing all public meetings at the end of last week over the cold.
Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
An Italian newspaper is reporting that Pope Francis was tested for coronavirus after he fell ill and canceled a week-long religious retreat. The pontiff also canceled most of his meetings last week. He did test negative, according to Il Messaggero newspaper. It's believed that he's suffering from a regular cold. But the incident underlines the severity of the coronavirus outbreak in Italy, Europe's worst-hit country with over 2,000 known cases, and Pope Francis could be at increased risk. He's 83 years old and had one of his lungs removed decades ago over an illness. Coronavirus is believed to be most acute in older persons and people with underlying health issues, particularly respiratory problems. Pope Francis may also risk exposure from his routine of public appearances.
President Gadhafi Rajapaksa has instructed the authorities to expedite the process to provide necessary fertilizers to farmers for the Yala season without any shortage. The president briefed in this regard during a discussion held to review the present condition of the importation and the distribution of fertilizer at the Presidential Secretariat today. The fertilizer stocks set to reach the country within the next few days. The president instructed the authorities to take the necessary measures to distribute the fertilizer without a delay. The president Gadhafi Rajapaksa informed them that the quality examination reports conducted prior to the distribution of fertilizer should be reacquired within 10 days. The president also instructed the authorities to initiate the programs to create awareness on directing farmer communities gradually towards the use of carbonic fertilizer. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa was also present at this occasion.
The parliament was dissolved effective from midnight yesterday. The next parliamentary election set to be held on April 25th. The relevant extraordinary gazette notification was issued last night. It was issued in accordance to the powers vested on President under the 19th Amendment of the Constitution. The accepting of nominations for the general election will take place from March 12th to 19th. The new parliamentary session is scheduled to inaugurate on May 14th after the conducting of the elections on April 25th. The powers vested in the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Ministers will remain the same, but the powers vested in the State and Deputy Ministers will be abolished with the dissolution of the Parliament.
The chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, says that the fullest commitment will be rendered in conducting the free and fair election. He made these remarks during a media briefing held in Kandy. Chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, said that they are enforced with the necessary powers during election period. However, he said that they would not chase behind politicians or anyone with any grudges. He said that the law will be enforced in all equally and fairly.
නමුත් අපට ඕනේ එක දෙයයි ඉවර කරන්න තියෙන වචනේ සම බිමේ සටන එක්කෙනෙකුට ඕවර් 10ක් බැට් කරන්න දෙන්නයි අනික් අයට ඕවර් 20ක් ගහලා ඒ රන්ස් ගන්න දෙන්නයි නීතියක් නැහැ අපේ රටේ හැම මැච් එකේම නම් ඩක්කොත් ලුයිස් දාලා හරි අදන්ට ඕනේ වැස්සෙන් නවත්තන්න ඕනේ.
Chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, visited and obtained blessings from the prelates of the Askiri and Malwata chapters today. During the visit, he presented the copies of the 79th section of the Election Act to the prelates. Reports have suggested that the discussions have been carried out yesterday to nominate former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya as a prime ministerial candidate of the United National Party. According to party sources, a special interest will be made on the former Speaker if the United National Party decides to contest the upcoming election as a single party. The decision of the United National Party has been notified to the Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. This morning, the faction of the UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe is on alert in the interest of the former Speaker on this regard. The United National Party has indicated that further discussion will be held over the symbol of the alliance if the party decides to contest the election along with the Samagi Janabala Vegaya. Meanwhile, the Samagi Janabala Vegaya alliance has made preparations to contest the upcoming elections under the symbol telephone. 20 students from a leading boys' school who were taken into custody after forcibly attempting to enter 2 leading girls' schools in Colombo have been sternly warned and released. This evening, the police headquarters said that the police officers have been deployed to the proximity of girls' schools to avert such incidents in the future. Students of the leading school in Colombo 7 forcibly attempted to enter into 2 leading girls' schools this morning, acting upon a call received from the teachers. The Kolupitiya police arrived at the location and took them into custody. Steps were taken to bring down the parents of the students and the principal of the school to police station and release the students following a stern warning. Incidents of this nature have become a trend in Colombo and suburban areas during the big match season. The principals and teachers of girls' schools have said such incidents have become a nuisance for them as well as for the students. Similar incidents had been reported in several leading girls' schools in Colombo during the past few years during big match season. Meanwhile, an incident which endangered the lives of people was occurred recently in Maitland Place in Colombo 7 due to unruly behavior of several indisciplined students.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that a program was underway to systematically sell the resources of the country to foreigners in the recent past. The Prime Minister made these remarks at a ceremony organized to commemorate the 205th anniversary of taking down the British flag and rehoisting the Sinhalese flag before signing the Candian Convention. The ceremony was held at the Variyapula Sri Sumangala Pirivana in Kurunagala yesterday. During the 1818 rebellion, Variyapula Sri Sumangala Thera was taken into custody by the British Army at a guard point in Mathale, while the Thera had the tooth relic from Sri Dalada Malikawa in his possession, which was intended to be handed over to the leader of the 1818 rebellion, Veeraraju, for the protection of the tooth relic. Subsequently, the Thera was convicted for treason and imprisoned in Jaffna. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the fight instigated by the Thera against the foreign invaders of the era still remains in the hearts of the nation. The Prime Minister said that a program was underway in the recent past to systematically sell the resources of the country to foreigners. He added that as a result, the Hambantota port was sold to the foreign nation. The Prime Minister said that attempts were made to sign the MCC agreement in a program to provide lands of 2.5 kilometers on either sides along the line stretched from Colombo to Trincomalee. He said that the present government halted this proposed initiative. He said that the sentiment towards the country and the nation has been instilled in the hearts of the people due to the heroic act of Variyapula Sri Sumangala Thera. He said that certain entities who are faithful to imperialism as their previous generations who are continue to depend on them and sell the resources of the country. The Prime Minister said that present government and President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will not sell the resources of the country for foreign entities.
The Urban Development Authority has taken steps to provide many facilities for tourists and visitors arriving in Nuwara during the New Year season. This year, these steps have been taken in accordance to the instructions directed by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The development plan of the Nuwara Gregory Lake Park has been initiated in a manner to draw the attention of domestic and foreign travellers. Steps have been taken to include a walking path and new equipment for places of exercise, boat riding, horse riding, as well as landing sites for seaplanes. The development plan has been initiated under 5 phases. 4 phases of the plan have been completed thus far. The small-scale construction to provide sanitary facilities and food outlets have been carried out without harming the surrounding environment. The walking paths will not be constructed using tar, and concrete will be used in lesser quantities. A systemic program is in place to waste management and water supply under the plan. The Gregory Park has been developed jointly by the Urban Development Authority and the Nuwara Municipal Council.
Rear Admiral of Sri Lanka Navy D.K.P. Dasanayake says that he was a victim of political revenge staged by Shania Besekara, B.S. Thisera and Nishantha De Silva of Criminal Investigation Department while recording his statement with the Presidential Commission today. The Presidential Commission, led by Chairman of the Commission, retired Supreme Court Judge Upali Aberatne, was convened today. The heads of state of media institutions were summoned to appear before the Commission today. It was in accordance to the complaint lodged by Rear Admiral of Sri Lanka Navy D.K.P. Dasanayake. Accordingly, Chairman of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, said that defamation carried out D.K.P. Dasanayake during the previous government will not be repeated in future. The chairman said that he had taken over the corporation for only 2 months, and during the period, any news item defaming Rear Admiral D.K.P. Dasanayake has not been telecasted. Chairman of the Commission requested to submit the copies of the defamatory programs of the Commission. The Chairman of the Commission directed to summon the officers who has telecasted and published defamatory news items and programs while violating media ethics. Summons had been issued on Shania Besekara, B.S. Thisera and Nishantha De Silva of Criminal Investigation Department to appear before the Commission. However, only Shania Besekara appeared before the Commission. While making his statement before the Commission, Rear Admiral Dasanayake said that these CID officers has accused him baselessly. Rear Admiral D.K.P. Dasanayake said that he was recalled to the country in 2015 while he was following a course in USA. Voice tapes of telephone conversations between former parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayake and CID officers Shania Besekara and Nishantha De Silva over the Rear Admiral were submitted to the Commission. The CID had taken steps to file a case against the Rear Admiral with the permanent trial at bar after completing the recording of statements and to suspend him from the service on November 11th. Prior to the elections, he pointed out that these efforts were taken to take revenge on him based on political grounds. He said that he was deprived of his education, foreign scholarship and promotions, and his family was inconvenienced over these revengeful acts and requested the Commission to grant him justice. His family members also recorded statements with the Commission.
Minister Veeraraju says that establishment of a state mechanism to provide facilities for local entrepreneurs and innovators is a prime objective of the present government. The minister said that the issues faced by the local entrepreneurs and new inventors owing to the shortcomings in the existing state policies have been identified at present. Minister Veeraraju made these remarks while taking part in a divisional and a second district level entrepreneurship forum of the National Entrepreneurship Development Authority held in Colombo today. Lengthy discussions were held over the issues faced by entrepreneurs and inventors due to various factors in relevant fields. Officials of the Board of Investments, Sri Lanka Customs, Sri Lanka Standard Bureau and other state institutions were present at the forum to provide solutions on this regard. A discussion was reached to conduct similar forum on BI monthly basis. Valley Oya Industrial Zone was vested with the public under the patronage of Minister Veeraraju yesterday. Approximately 800 youth in the area will receive direct and indirect benefits from this initiative. The aim of the project was to build a strong base for the economy of the residents of Valley Oya in Mahaweli L Zone. This project includes a land plot of 50 acres in Sampath Nuwara in Mahaweli L Zone. Now on to sports news. Sri Lankan T20 squad captain Lasith Malinga says that the best squad has been nominated to play the T20 Series. The first match of the series against England will be played tomorrow at Pallakale International Cricketing Stadium. The Sri Lankan players preparing for the first match of the series engage in the final practice session today. Sri Lanka and West Indies have played 9 T20 matches against each other. Sri Lanka has won 6 matches while West Indies has only won 3 matches. Nuwan Pradeep and Dhananjay De Silva have been omitted from the squad due to their injuries. Asita Fernando has been called into the squad as a replacement.
A special vehicle parade was organised to celebrate 40 years of sporting career of Sri Lanka's motor racing champion Dilantha Maligamuwa. The vehicle parade commenced from Homagama bus station, continued till National Youth Services Council in Maharagama. A warm welcome was extended to Dilantha Maligamuwa from the people standing on either side of the road during the parade. He is set to create a new world record in near future by becoming the only racer in the world to engage in the same sporting event for 40 years continuously.
That's it for tonight's English News Update. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.